Gentlemen, and very few ladies, here is the car. And well, I am waiting on the snout for my blower. I have the rails, I have the injectors, and some incredible viewers that you are have sent me an ice tank, which is more than likely gonna go in the trunk. It is huge. It's meant to be a trunk mount. Part of me wanted to keep it all under the hood. I don't even think if we cut it down it'll really fit, unless I got a relatively small tank custom made with a different lid, which is always something I can discuss with my buddy Joey or Mike Diano or someone that can weld aluminum for me locally. So anyway, it would be cool to have everything here. There's just an empty void here. So having the tank here and the pump down here and the heat exchanger here would really give me a short amount of stuff to maintain. That interests me a lot. Someone else sent me this legendary heat exchanger, which you could like murder someone with. They packed it. I was like, why the hell did he pack it? Oh, let's apologize for the mail time video. I have 3 microphones on my computer and had obviously the wrong one enabled for the video and never proof watched it, because that's just what I do. And I shipped the fucking video right up on the internet and everyone's like, I can't hear you. So I just turned it off for now. Anyway, this awesome dude sent me this. It even has I believe this is like a old school temperature thing, so they can actually see like a single wire GM temperature probe. That's what it looks like. That looks like a drain. These are the fittings. This is an ice box. It has a feed and a return. It has a grate over this so you can dump ice in and it won't suck up the ice and clog the pipes. This is a drain also to keep draining the melted ice water out to put more ice in. One thing I'm not too particularly fond of is putting the ice box in the trunk, even though that's what everybody does, because you can fit a massive amount of ice in the trunk and then just run it up front. So I think I should stop being a bitch and just do that. Unless, like my buddy Joey wants to make a custom fabbed thing for here. I had hit up Monkey Fab, but like I'm all over the place anymore and I'm ringing. Anyway, the other thing that I need from LOJ, where I bought everything else, is this pulley is a ribbed pulley, and for the blower it's got to come up around a blower pulley about here. So he has a custom machined idler that's smooth so the belt can go under this, up around the blower and then back down. And he recently did a FX35, like the mini SUV Nissan, with a 6.2 LSA blower, very similar stuff. So I'm gonna get the idler from him and the belt length, because he has thermal isolators that are like 3/8 of an inch, and my blower plates are gonna be 3/8 or 3/4 or something. So the belt will be very close, so that's cool. I get a little bit of a help there. Waiting for the blower snout. That can all go on. The fuel line is in a different spot, but that's no big deal. It's just Parker line. It's running from the content sensor anyway, so I just make the hose shorter or leave it full length and loop it around. Blah, blah, blah. I got my oil pressure, my stock oil pressure thing working. That's not a really big development. Other than that, I mean, what do you guys think about the trunk thing? If I'm gonna do it, do I do the trunk setup? Do I go all out? And do I run the hoses? Or do I try to make overflow and tank fit in the front to make it easier? I don't know. I don't know why. There's some stuff that really bothers me. Other stuff I don't care about, obviously, if you have been watching long enough. But putting the tank in the back is like one of those things that just I don't want to do. Is that a good enough excuse? But he sent me all the stuff to do it, so I could. I just have to run the hoses. Do I just man up and run these hoses? Quit being a little biatch? Oh yeah, the other thing is, we're gonna do a quick review on, everyone asked me to do an update on the jumper box I got from my guys at, I mean, they still haven't told me how to pronounce it. I should ask them. I like to pronounce things correctly, or at least I like to know how to be somewhat respectful. Like when someone has a funky last name, I like to know how to say it. I don't want to make them feel weird. Anyway, some insight. I don't know if you guys feel the same. This has been working great. I've actually been using it so much. It had plastic arms on it. I broke one of them. So what I did was I bought these $5 off of like Amazon, totally metal larger jaws, and I connected the factory wires to it. So it has 100% metal jaws on it now. It was part copper and plastic. I let them know that broke, and they sent me another one as like a thing. Like I'm like, hey, I fixed it and everything, but they sent me the smaller version of the jumper pack to test also. So I did get this guy, and I heard these work really well too. It's just a jumper and USB. This one has like the air pump and everything in it, and emergency lighting and craziness, and I was able to jump a lot of vehicles with this, surprisingly. So what I need to do for this is like leave the dome light on in my Kia, which I hate doing, but the Kia has been a trooper for so long. I want to test and see how this works. People say these work pretty good. Again, this is similar, like 100% plastic arm. That's what broke on this one. It had larger jaws and they were plastic. It broke right here. So these seem better. I let them know that the ones I got on this one, when you would squeeze it, they would walk. They would scissor all over the place. So it was like an accident waiting to happen. I don't know if their other ones are like that. So they're like, we apologize. We'll send you this one. You can keep this one if you want to fix it, but here's your replacement, basically. So that's cool of them. Just to note that these might break on you. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. For the price, I think it's not that great. I think this is almost 200 bucks if you bought it. Shouldn't be breaking, shouldn't be plastic. Again, like, I don't know, like, we'll see. This is like a much lighter duty thing. I don't anticipate these breaking as easily, but these you want to grab with your whole hand, and then, like I said, it would wander, and I'm like, that's gonna break. Also, the quick jack I bought has been awesome. I really like it. I still like it. It is, I don't know how you guys can say with a straight face that a jack stand and jacks are easier or better than these. You are high as a kite. That is totally untrue. I just did oil changes on like 5 of our vehicles, and it is great. It's nice. It's really nice. I don't know if I want to modify my entire garage architecture to install a lift. I would much rather have like build another whole building outside that is designated for a lift. I think I've gone over it a bunch of times, but maybe not on camera. Installing a lift, like, you have to bolt down the posts, and then they take up space, and then you're forever moving around the lift itself. So I feel like you need like a fairly large garage and designate a whole corner to the lift. A 2-bay where like I might work on something in this bay, or I might work on something here. I can pick that guy up and put the jacks over here and permanently put a car here, permanently put a car over here, take it to my friend's house, put it in the driveway. I don't know. It has its uses. Obviously, it would be nice if it could lift the thing 6 feet into the air, but it does not. But that's what you get. So that's the compromise. Other than that, it has been working really well. I have no problems. If I have one gripe, the only thing I can complain about is sometimes this button is intermittent. Like when you go to push it, it doesn't always work, which is kind of interesting for how big it is, like a giant arcade button. It should be fairly like just work all the time. But you'll push this down and nothing will work, and you'll like wiggle it and nothing will work, and you'll push it 3 times and then it'll work. But that's not all the time. That's like the only thing I can gripe about, is this control box looks industrial, but these buttons kind of suck. The contactor or something. I took it apart and wanted to see if anything was loose, and not really. So that's just, it is what it is. I could easily like take that apart and do a project box and replace the switches, just like the jumper box over here that I put the metal clips on, but that's, you know. But the idea is you watch this and you decide whether or not that's some bullshit that you want to have to deal with or not. Other than that, this LOJ kit and the solution and everything has worked fine. Dare I say that this car works so well, it's almost boring. Everything's uneventful. Nothing happens. It starts, runs, drives. Everything works. So what I'm hoping is it makes 350 tire. It is fun to drive, but obviously, not to sound like an egomaniac, for someone like me, I wish it had double the power that it has. So it makes about 350 tire, and I really wish it made double that. I don't know if it would be fun or not at that point, but I would like to find out for myself. So I'm hoping the blower puts me right up into the 600 horsepower range. Nobody really runs a blower on a 4.8 like this, so we're not sure how much boost it'll make. Again, I'm running E85, and you know, it's somewhat a little bit like race gas, so I won't be limited. If the pulley setup makes a ton of boost, it won't worry me as much as if it was a straight pump gas car. Like if you had a truck and you wanted to do towing, you wouldn't want your boost pressure to be out of control and always be harboring some kind of thermal event with the blower and overheating your inlet air temps and soaking stuff, etc., etc. So I'm curious to see where it takes us. I know people post dyno charts at least of like 750 range with this blower. I would say like 600 would be comfortable. 700 might be a little stretching it. I mean, I talked to some people and they're like, yeah, 650, 700 is like what average people who are spinning the blower and have headers and a cam. And the other thing to take into account is most of these people have an LS3. They have a 6.2 that this blower is on, or they have the iron LY6 6-liter out of a truck. They bolt the blower on because it's square port to square port. All of that happy stuff works together, so it'll be interesting to see how the 4.8 does. Another neat thing about the 4.8 is I have like my clutch is rated for like 575 foot-pounds of the flywheel. So the neat thing about the 4.8 is it makes less torque than all the other motors. So it might be able to go farther. If I had a 6.2 LS3 and I bolted that blower on, I might spin right through the clutch and have to drop like $2,000 on a twin disc clutch setup, which is not too appealing to me because the rest of the drivetrain is fairly cheap. So we'll see where we're at with all that. These are just all my thoughts in my brain that are going on. I do have to spray it with the 2 hundo quick. I keep saying that, but man, I have been busy lately. And then I'm trying to coordinate all these blower parts showing up at the same time so I have no interruptions when I want to bolt the blower on. And again, my personal turmoil with hooking up this heat exchanger in the trunk. It's funny how there's stuff like that I devote a lot of brain power to, and other stuff I will like just cut a wire and crimp it. I'm like, oh, I'm good. But putting the entire hydro heat exchange system for this car is something I want to be semi-well thought out, and I do not know why I want most of it under the hood. Can't explain it. The nitrous bottle and everything's in the trunk anyway, so maybe it would be easiest to do that. Some people were commenting on my Bosch water pump. Comes with like a Cobra. They're saying that that's garbage. We'll just try it for now. They're saying that pump, that heat exchanger aren't that great. You know, it's not a $600, $700 AFCO heat exchanger, so it's not great. But whatever, it'll probably be pretty good for what I'm doing. If I were road racing or worried about keeping my temps very low all the time, that would be something I would consider. But we're gonna see how people are gracious enough to send this free stuff, so can't not try it. It's all there. I don't have to buy anything. I almost bought a heat exchanger the other day, and then that one showed up in the mail. I was like, oh boy, take a look at this, Jimmy, the heat exchanger. So we're gonna hook all that up, probably put it in the trunk. I mean, why cut this up? It's all complete. Why make it harder for myself? That's what I tell you guys, right? Why make it harder for myself? Because, well, I like to test that stuff and let everybody know whether or not it was worth it. Okay. I think that, I mean, this has turned into quite a semi-Rambletron video, has it not? So, that's where we're at. I gotta spray this thing soon, get that over with. Not that I'm worried about the 200 shot, but maybe I should build up some intense Discovery Channel like drama. I wish I had someone who could have run in here and like flip my table over and be like, we're not gonna get done before the deadline, and then make clickbait videos that talk about not getting a car done and all the trouble we're gonna be in. But that's not what I do, and it's not what I appreciate. Anyway, I am dying to put this fucking blower on. I don't want to keep bothering the Olson Custom Works guy about my snout, but I'm like, bro, you keep telling me like a week or two, so let's make it this week or something. You're annoying me. I said the other day to my buddy, like, I'm just gonna buy a VS Racing Turbo and put it wherever I can because I have control over that situation instead of the blower snout at a machine shop for 2 months. Oh, other than that, let me know if you guys have any questions about this thing. It has been rock solid. I have not had any issues. I put those diff bushings in. That was a world of difference. It was huge. Huge. And I think the only other lunging I'm getting is the subframe bushings, which people say needs to get done also. So I'll probably end up doing that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And my biggest hopes and prayers are that this clutch and this blower are happy together. The only other obstacle we might hit is my sustained horsepower outflows the fuel pump kit that LOJ supplied. I think that's going to be, the clutch and the fuel system are going to be right on the edge of their comfortable limits. So we will see, you know, nothing I'm not used to. So other than that, everything has been really good. I drive it every now and then. I just don't think that the driving videos are that exciting. Maybe I'll get one just of me like putzing around and slamming some gears for you. And another thing I want to do is make I keep doing small things to try to get my clutch height higher, because the clutch grabs pretty low, and I'm a fan of when the clutch grabs pretty high so you can rail the gears pretty easy. I don't know why cars that grab the clutch like right off the floor, it's kind of hard to really pound some gears, and I think that's why some people have trouble with their transmissions, is because it's not disengaging immediately. So the amount of time it takes to put the pedal all the way down versus changing your gear and everything else, you know, it's anybody that drag races a stick car knows that the higher the pedal is, usually the easier it is to complete your shifts, because you're getting proper disengagement. Other than if you have a twin disc car and it needs custom height adjustment, we're going on and on again. I just don't want to sound like an idiot to people who have a Tilton and had to install a clutch stop, and they're, oh, you can't just make it as high as you want. You can make it as high as you want as long as you have a clutch stop. Anyway, that's where we're at. I mean, dare I say uneventful? So I want to spray it. Another thing I'd like to do is I'd like to do the 100 shot that's in it now. I'd like to do a video where I accelerate like 1st through 4th, and then what I'd like to do is enable the nitrous and then maybe show the gear skip feature. So we'll enable the spray, and it won't turn on in 1st, but it will turn on in 2nd. I think it won't really hook up that great in 1st with the nitrous slamming in anyway. So I'd like to do that, show people a comparison. Maybe I'll wear like a helmet cam GoPro and you can see the tack and everything of the nitrous spewing on, and maybe we'll do it with the buck 50 also. But anyway, yeah, here I am waiting for my snout and being in a little bit of analysis paralysis with my heat exchanger water tubing pump decision, which I would have moved along a lot faster if I had everything else pushing me along. So for now, like, this can occupy my headspace and I won't think about everything else as much. So let me know what you think of all of that. Apologize for the mail time video where you can't understand anything that I say about the heat exchanger. So hopefully we covered that. We covered the battery jumper boxes that those bros have been sending me. They have been working. What would be kind of cool is to like take one of the dump trucks at the paving, at the dyno, my buddy's paving company, and jump start a dump truck with one of those things to see if it can, or hook up both of them, you know, something like that. That would be interesting. Other than that, I mean, this car is pretty much too nice for me at this point. Everything is too nice. It went too well. It's too much of an awesome driver and not enough shitbox, but definitely incredible. So fun for what it is. I think the blower will take it to that next level of some form of insanity to make it more fun. So if it runs the risk of spinning the tires and knocking me off the road below 60 miles an hour, the amount of fun driving it goes way up for me. I don't know about you guys. Everybody's a little different, huh? So gotta do that. I'm terrible verbatim sometimes, so I'm just letting myself ramble. As we know, the longer I ramble, the more information falls out of my mouth. Anyway, I think that's about it. I think I'm about done. Everything else in here is working good. Cannot wait for this blower. I hope it is everything I want. If I'm not super excited when this blower is done, you guys can start putting in your bids for this vehicle immediately, because I kind of want something crazier to drive. Is that awful to say, that this car is so nice I don't want it? But that's where we're at. It's cool. I like doing it. I like learning. But where I'm at with it is it's a little bit too nice. You know, I don't know. I'm caught in limbo with what I want to do with it. So we'll see. Like I said, hopefully the blower makes it a lot of fun, and I can quit rambling about it. Put this blower on before it snows. Will be really nice. That's what I'm looking forward to. I think I have everything else. I did a good job of like looking over. I got my injectors, I got my fuel rails, I got the lid, the gaskets. Just waiting on my plates and my snout. And the pulley is coming soon. All I need to do is like literally bolt that stuff on, put a belt on, and I can start the thing. And then in another day or two, I should be able to get heater hoses and run them full length. And I mean, what's nice is they're all just barbs. So I can just cut them and shove them on and buy a pack of, I should Amazon like a whole thing of 5/8 hose clamps, because the parts store kills you for that stuff. I could probably buy 30 hose clamps off of Amazon for like $7, and one hose clamp is $7 at the auto parts store. So that's where we're at. Let me know if you have questions. Guarantee the audio is good on this video. Apologies. So that's where we're at. I think I have everything pretty much covered. We just gotta, so I just want to see over 500 horsepower on the sauce, which it made 481 already, so we don't have much farther to go, so that just needs to happen. And like I said, I guarantee I'm not doing a Discovery Channel needless drama post. Just everything else kind of got in the way. That's where we are. That's where we're gonna be. That's pretty much it. The oil pressure is still good. I hooked up the factory. The E38s have oil pressure input, so I wired that in, put the oil pressure sensor on there. Stock oil pressure sensor for this truck was bad, pretty common. So I got a $16 Amazon oil pressure sensor, put that on. Oil pressure is 43 pounds at idle. So we're good there. So we can use that as like a nitrous health thing, and I can just spray until crush my bearings and my oil pressure goes down, and then we can take a little bit of nitrous out of it. Is that how it's done? But yeah, I think this kit is limited by the solenoids and the nozzle to about 200 horsepower. So I could, if we wanted to, jet it for 200 and then try for a little bit more and see if it can even do it, but I doubt it. I doubt it'll flow any more than that. Maybe we'll try as an experiment. But yeah, I'd love to see about 520 tire on spray, just to do it, just to be that guy. So again, questions about the build, where we're going, I think I answered them all. Everything else is just going so well, it's unremarkable. There's nothing to state. Everything is good. It's done, it's finished as is. So unless we can evolve this thing some more, you know, boredom is going to set in, and we're gonna have to start taking bids. So hopefully some of you are interested, so I can afford to build like some crazy 80s Ford. Anyway, that's where we're at. No Lamborghini in the background, just have to deal with it.